This is what I call the Stalin drinking game. What position would you like to occupy in a dictatorship so you got the best life?
Surely you're the guy that everyone trusts other than the layer below the leader.
Again, you see, you put yourself to... I think you want to be... Welcome to podcast 21, episode 21 of Bloomin Legends. I'm Johnny Vaughan. This is Gavin Woods. You right, Gavin?
Yeah, really good, Johnny.
God, I nearly did that.
What?
I'm joined as ever by historian. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Like...
a medieval expert.
Yeah. Right.
No, I'm not an expert at all, but we are.
No. I think this is a really good way to go. I'm joined this week. No, Gav, keep it in.
Okay, go on.
I'm joined this week by medieval expert Gavin Woods. I nearly even said doctor then.
Professor.
No, doctor.
Professor Hilary Gavins.
No, you don't want to be a professor of history because generally if you're a professor of history, you're pretty right.
Very right.
Very right.
Yeah.
Well, a professor of military history.
Military historians.
That literally makes you a fascist.
You literally no left-wing military historians ever.
I have never met a
I've never heard of one.
There's no such thing as a left-wing military historian. There is no such thing as a left-wing military historian.
They just don't exist.
They don't exist.
They don't. It's wonder why. Is there not one left-wing historian that was interested in military equipment?
Famously, there was A.J.P. Taylor. He was quite to the left,
right?
Which is why I think they then banned him in schools, which was extraordinary considering this is after the war. Yeah. We'd just beaten the Nazis,
right?
And yet still, most military historians were like, "Yeah, but it's only because they had the whole world against them. They were still the best." You know, they still. You know what I mean? You're sort of
and thinking, also, the new war was against the Cold War.
You're thinking, hang on a second.
Yeah.
The Nazis had been defeated long before the Americans waged it.
Right?
They helped to speed the process up.
Absolutely.
The Russians kicked their ass in Stalingrad. We kicked their ass in North Africa.
Yeah.
And there's, the idea that it was just because the Americans joined in. Europe managed to stump up as many soldiers as the Germans did. I think we'd have done it without the Americans.
Johnny, they sold us a lot of weapons.
Yes, they sold us right, which we were still paying off till 2016.
2016.
Right. So let's if by help you mean saddling with this enormous debt and also giving a lot of lives, no doubt about it. I'm not going to be like Donald Trump, but don't let them nick that recently.
No.
In fact, I say that with all respect for the very brave American servicemen who gave their lives.
Oh, absolutely.
But don't,
especially the D-Day landings and up through Sicily, the Americans
good would have prevailed anyway.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Anyway, today's episode is episode 21, Johnny, and we're going to talk about Charlemagne.
Okay.
The man who built Europe before Europe was cool. Okay. As he's being billed here today.
Okay, so Charlemagne is a man.
Yes, Charlemagne is a man. We're talking in the 700s.
Okay.
So pre-medieval, really, or beginning of the
8th century.
8th century Europe.
So it's a time we really know absolutely nothing
about. Well, speaking personally, yes, nothing.
No, I don't think anything for certain is known really what's happening in Britain at this time.
Right,
You're talking about a lost 500 years.
Right.
So the Roman Empire falls in 410.
Yes.
William the Conqueror steps in 1066, as we know.
Right, yeah.
And
really, between then,
well, you've got sort of Alfred the Great, you've got Danelaw in Britain, you've got the Vikings invading, you've got a few, Harold Goodnessons and Goodwinson and a few Vikings kicking around. But really, it's scant.
Right.
It's really scant knowledge.
So this era, he was born, Charlemagne, in 747. So that's, 300 years after the Roman Empire.
Yes.
And Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great. Yeah. In fact, Charlemagne means Charles the Great.
Does it?
Yeah, or in German, Karl der Groß.
Karl der Groß.
Yes.
Because, of course, he was Frankish. He'd have spoken a version of German anyway.
Exactly. There was no France or Germany. It was all one big lump by the time he'd finished.
And Gav,
it's mind-blowing.
This is what we have to remember going into this, and this is what I want to impress on you. At this time, there is no France.
No.
There is no Germany. Germany is like a 19th century invention.
That's right. In fact, up until the 17th, 18th century, the countries we recognise were all devolved into these tiny little fiefdoms and kingdoms.
Yes.
Italy was 20 different kingdoms.
Yes.
The Lombards, who he gets involved with, various, the Vatican. It's all different little fiefdoms.
But it's why...
Germany, especially what we see as Germany now, Prussia and Germany, all little kingdoms. Millions of them.
Look, because within most Germans, lies the seeds, not only of fanaticism,
Right.
but of someone who actually thinks they could run things here.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
No, but if you look at those maps of Germany, literally, it's like our county system. It's literally like
it is.
counties.
No, it is. And you watch there are animated maps of the movement of the
Yeah.
kingdoms, the size of
Yeah.
the territories up until the modern countries.
Yeah.
It is constantly shifting.
Well, you can see why the whole
throughout
of
that
Europe
time.
was never at wars, because literally there was not. They were
No,
all
they were
too
fighting
bu-
each
they were
other,
just too
little
busy fighting
fights.
each other. Yeah, yeah.
Mini fights.
Yeah, they were fighting their own internal league games.
Of course
there was no
they-
time for an international fixture.
Different divisions.
Different
Exactly.
divisions. Yeah,
yeah.
it was all
Different
local.
divisions.
It was all.
So Charlemagne, known as Charles the Great, was the king of the Franks who united much of Western Europe after the fall of Rome. The Roman Empire had an Eastern and a Western faction to it.
Yeah.
And he was crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 800. First time someone had been unifying the entire area.
Okay, who's his dad?
Right, well, he was born in 747
Yeah.
to parents Pepin the Short, which tells me anytime you hear a king with a non-flattering nickname,
Yes.
that means someone else named him.
Yeah.
If he's got a really good nickname, that means he named himself and paid historians in his court to
So
make
his
sure.
dad was Papal the Short.
Was his real name, and he was Pepin the Short and Bertrada of Leon. That's his mother.
Do you know what I think about those two? I think she was the first queen ever to be blessed as part of a coronation ceremony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was an article in History Today magazine.
You mean later when the Pope blesses Charlemagne?
Yes, they were.
Right,
I
right,
think.
right.
I think because I think back then they were literally shagging so many people and having so many illegitimate children.
Yes, yes.
That they had to have only one woman that had a blessed
matriarch,
blessed womb and blessed breast.
And so she was ratified.
So she
by
was ratified.
the Pope.
Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's claiming they're going to be
the claims to the titles.
the holy
yes,
successor.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So just to make sure you don't get some bastard who's sort of saying,
makes-
"Hey, I was born first."
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Because, as we'll find out later, Charlemagne had quite a few families. He was born Karl. He changed his name to, I guess, appeal to the wide area he was about to rule.
Yeah.
But, I don't know about our own king. Could he? Because he's German as well.
Yeah.
He could be King Karl.
Oh, man, I love it.
We've never had a King Karl.
Oh, I love
Think
it.
of the two Ks, the logos.
Yeah.
It really works.
I'd like a King Kurt. That'd be great though. We had a King
be
Kurt. Like that
fantastic.
mad psychobilly van. King Kurt. I mean, I'm always gutted any time. You hold your breath, don't you? When William had his first son, you think
And you don't know what he's going to call him. Yeah.
Please, Kong. Please go for Kong. I'm at home going boom, boom, Kong,
King
and it's something
Kong
boring like
the first.
Philip, Arthur, Lewis.
It always is.
Frederick,
Albert.
it's
it's
Albert, the
always
combination
the
of the
same.
usual.
Yeah.
Right, but you're thinking, go on, do it.
Do
so
it.
Britain's got a King Kong. Or King Size.
King Size.
Yes.
That works beautifully. Yeah.
Hey, do you know what? Please do get in touch with us on this.
Yeah, comment
on this
comment
note.
below. Yeah.
Do a comment below. We'll read it. What would you really like a king to be called? If your son was going to be king, you're at the baptism or christening. Remember, have a little think. What are you going down?
What about King Tut?
King Tut? That is fantastic.
In honour of the famous venue in Glasgow,
Yes.
King Tut's
Yeah,
Wawa Hut.
yeah, but you could just say, call him something that's Tut for short.
Right.
Yeah.
Theodore.
Yeah.
Or whatever Tut
Or
is
just
short
King
for.
Hal. Yeah, right.
King Hal.
Yeah, right. King Useless.
So this, I'm nominating this as his first Bloomin Legend moment. He's gone from Karl to Charlemagne.
Yeah, well,
it's so much more snazzy, isn't it?
You know, Chuck Norris, he went from Carlos
He did.
to Chuck.
He's not Charles. He's
not
Carlos.
Chuck.
That's right.
He is by no means. I was alarmed when I found out Chuck Norris was...
I was too. And wasn't he named after a friend of his dad's who was a priest?
Yes.
A Mexican preacher.
And yet all the time you sense that there was no one more enthusiastically keeping that cat in the bag than Chuck Norris.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Not once he's settled on Chuck.
Yeah. Oh, I know Carlos very well. No,
What?
He doesn't look like a Carlos, does he?
No, he doesn't look anything like
Doesn't
a
look
Carlos.
like a Carlos, no.
That's his first Bloomin Legend moment. Let's
Okay.
give him a quick salute.
Yes.
He's gone from Karl
Yeah.
to Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, yeah. Charles the
Great. As
Yeah.
his name.
Well, also, I tell you
while
what,
he's alive.
Well, I'll tell you exactly why he shored that one up pretty fucking early.
Why?
Well, if your your dad was Pepin the Short,
definitely.
You'd want to really make sure
get that settled.
Yeah, let's get it. So, no, I am not going to make the same mistake as my old man.
Definitely not. He worked this out young because he became king himself from his father's kingdom at 26 years old.
There was no way on this earth
he was keeping that nickname.
He must have looked at his dad and thought, what were you thinking about? You get a chance to name yourself.
Well, you let your enemies name you.
No, but he's also done an even bigger move. He's actually made it Charlemagne, one word.
Absolutely. And not just that, but Karl der Große.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of short.
Yes.
It's the great.
Yeah.
It also kind of means tall.
No, it means tall.
Yeah.
But Gav, he's done it in one word. So it's not even anyone, he's made it a one word name. So no one's even got the chance to vaguely leap in and add anything.
No, it's become compulsory.
Yeah, whereas his dad was Pepin the Short.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
a Charlemagne.
yeah, yeah.
Charles the Great, please.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's Charles the Great. He's known as Gav.
You're right.
Charles the Great.
Charles the Great.
Hi there, Charles the Great.
It's
aren't
automatic.
You, Pepin the Short's boy? Yes, but I'm Charles the Great.
So his father dies fighting a rebellion against his own kingdom, and him and his brother are now up for the taking over.
Okay.
Now the tradition is to split the land between the two sons.
Is it?
Yes.
Why is that tradition?
It just was.
I thought his older son gets the lot.
It's been described as Frankish custom at the time. It's probably an attempt for fathers to stop their kids killing each other, because pretty much you didn't become king unless you killed a nephew or a brother or a cousin or whatever.
Anyone, as soon as someone dies and there's even a will out, it doesn't matter how much anyone likes each other, all bets are off. People
all bets are off.
Really fall out. It's why the government, by putting huge amounts of death duties on people, has probably done more for,
stop siblings
Well, no,
squabbling.
for post-death family
Squabbles.
dysfunction
Yeah, 100%.
than any other force on earth. It's one of these forgotten, what I call the real toll of death.
Yeah.
Is actually how many families no longer speak to each other.
Because of the will,
because of the death will, and because of people sorting it out, and because everyone's a bit, I've got mine, don't worry about his.
Right.
Because,
And once there's a large sum involved, people get greedy.
Oh, no, the government have done more for post-death family dysfunction than any other force. So you imagine what it's like with a whole kingdom back then. And it's not just all... I think the reason they sort of say, no, it's all going to one person and then he can sort out... Yes.
Which is what it used to be.
Because it does actually keep it simple after a bit.
And
you're sort of hoping then he'll look after the whole family like the king did before.
Right, and it sort of was expected, but it didn't happen every time.
You've got a big family. Right.
I've got 5 kids in my family.
Right.
2 brothers, 2 sisters.
Right.
Yeah.
So who would have been the king of the Woodses?
Well, my eldest brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's your eldest brother?
Dylan.
So Dylan, you'd have been King Dylan of the Woods.
That's right. Yeah.
But would you trust King Dylan to be generous enough to you and your others?
I would. But then it wasn't half a country.
Right.
It's when the stakes are massive that people, I think, get greedy.
Okay.
It's when it's a giant sum.
No, but would you and your brother Duncan, do you think, ever foment rebellion if you felt
100%.
100%.
If he'd crossed us, 100%. Oh, it's on.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
And in fact, it's more on
Yeah.
than if it's not a sibling.
Yes, right.
Because you get so offended by it.
You really would.
And that's why the tempers would flare so high.
I don't know if people
you get so many wars over it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if people loved family in the same way as we do now.
Maybe not.
I don't think they did.
But obviously they were going to split the kingdom. That was the idea.
Yeah.
But tensions arose.
Of course they did.
Between the brothers, and his brother died mysteriously.
You can imagine.
Died of a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Died of a sprained ankle.
Sprained nose.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But you imagine, my bloody brother is going to die.
That's it. He's, according to records, he died of natural causes.
Yes.
And accounts mentioned an extreme nosebleed.
Right.
I suspect that's poisoning. Some kind of horrible poisoning.
Yes.
That would cause hemorrhage.
Unless he's haemophiliac. But you know what? On a sort of Darwinian level, you can really understand why you would kill all your brothers.
Well, because animals do it. they get rid of all rivals.
Well, no, it's not rivals. It's because you're wanting to take similar DNA to yours out of the gene pool. So it's to guard against interbreeding.
Oh, I see.
It means the uniqueness of your DNA. It's actually a real...
But they were still marrying into each other's families.
Yes, right. But so you don't want... You're creating a bit of confusion.
That's interesting.
At least it's coming from that one bloke.
Maybe they knew instinctively that there was something not ideal about constantly... do we salute this? Has he done what they all do? I mean, like I said, there are millions of little kingdoms around there. You had to kill someone to hold your throne.
Had to.
And if it happened to be a nephew or a cousin or a brother even, then that's what it was.
Do you ever... sometimes I do, I think we've all... Anyone who's got from a big family, I am, has really fallen out with their cousins. I can't stand several of mine. I remember once that my cousins were getting great presents out. My sister didn't get a bad present.
Yeah.
My granny, who didn't like me...
Yeah.
Maybe because she knew my other granny...
Right.
Quite liked me. Well, liked me. I was her favourite easily.
And she didn't like her?
No, I remember once I got this present, and in this box, there was just 3 erasers, 3 rubbers.
Yeah.
That was it. 3
pencil rubbers.
Yeah, pencil rubbers. And normally she was good for like £2.
Right.
And I was searching through the tissue paper it came in.
To see if there was anything else.
And she looked over at me, and she just went, "There's nothing else."
No.
With this smile on her face.
No.
Yeah. Mind you, she could trace her ancestry to precisely these people.
I bet she could.
In fact, through her...
Because they all had the same attitude.
Yes, through her, the Emery family, the Emerys, who were massive cathedral builders from this time, through her, my father and me and my oldest son, we are counts of the Holy Roman Empire in perpetuity through the female line.
You are joking.
I'm not.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yes.
Because Charlemagne was a big cathedral builder.
He was a big cathedral builder.
And that Holy Roman Empire kicked off because of him.
Right. So that's where we get that title from. But my dad still says, he goes, "No, John, as long as I'm here, you're not the Count."
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, for a while, can I just say,
go on.
I did put it on my credit card.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How did you put it?
No, I just put, when the American Express form came out, I just put Count.
Did you?
Sure enough, it came back. And it was on my driving licence for a bit as well. On one of those old paper driving licences. I had title. I just put Count. And no one checks up. I'm pretty sure you could just put Count. And no one checks up. I used to just love laying it down and going, the Count.
There you go.
Unfortunately, when anyone, like a mate or anyone did see it, they're going, without the O. It's not even funny.
And also, they don't realise you can have them taken away.
Yes, I could
as
have
a count.
Cav, I could have them taken away.
Have them taken away on horseback.
Well, in my ambitions, Cav.
Go on.
I've got 2 ambitions.
Yes.
Really. One is that every time I go like that,
you want dancing to
happen. want dancers to appear.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they can go.
And to remove them. Yes.
Do you want the dancers? That's all any man should aspire to.
Sure.
But also, to be able to go, "Guard, seize him!" and to be able to have anyone seized.
Oh, it'd be wonderful.
Oh, God, wouldn't you love to do it? Imagine that.
I might pay someone to do that, just for like 1 day a year.
"Guard, seize him!"
Also, it's annoying because it's a crime.
Well, seizing
just
people.
to get people seized.
I know, but Gav,
it's so annoying.
I don't know. It might be because I'm a count. I might be able to do it.
Can you seize for like 5 minutes?
No, but
without going to prison.
For instance, people I'd seize.
Yeah.
Again, who would you, if you did have a title?
Yes.
If there was an ancient title,
who would you have seized?
Who would you have seized? And what would you have as your double clap instant thing brought to you? And who and when would you demand a seizure? For instance, Gav, if I was ever hassled by those charity people in the street, "Guard, seize him!"
Absolutely
and all I'd do is just throw them to the side.
Absolutely. Roughly.
Yes, roughly.
Rudely.
Seize them.
Seize him. Take him away. Would you have had Cliff seized when he stood up to sing at Wimbledon that time?
Seize him.
Straight away.
Straight away.
From the Royal Box.
From the Royal Box.
He
should have been seized. So again, do comment who you'd have seized from history. We've had Sir Cliff, which is the obvious candidate.
Obvious,
so don't just do that. Or George Galloway and Rula Lenski for that moment in Big Brother. You can't seize people.
I think I'd seize George Galloway anyway. Just even if he's Galloway, if he's wearing one of those silly hats, seize him.
Corbyn I'd seize.
Yeah, have him
definitely.
seized.
Only when he's wearing his silly communist hat.
Definitely.
Seize him. Anyone else you'd have seized, Gav?
Oh, God, I mean, the list just gets longer each year. I quite like Trump to get seized.
What, if he's in Britain?
Yes, because he really wouldn't be able to process this.
Yes.
It would confuse the hell out of him.
Well, also, if we found out that for some reason he'd been to some sort of kinky party here, or done something, or if he'd ever been part of Epstein's thing.
And there was a case resting
yes,
there.
Right.
Yeah,
and King Charles actually said while he was here, he goes, "Hello, Donald," and he went, "Seize him."
Seize him.
Just to see Trump seized in Britain. Seize him. By soldiers. Take it. No, just to set up and you go, no, Britain can legally do it. The Americans are going, well, if you do that, give us back our president. You go, no.
Also, I don't want
can't now because the king has ordered him to be seized.
No, it's been said.
He's been seized.
The paperwork is in ancient handwritten. Monks have written this.
It's been written on what's that stuff?
Vellum.
We can't. It's as you can see. It's here.
It's illustrated.
It's here in ink and vellum. We can't.
So the first thing Charlemagne does, he's 26.
Yeah.
He now rules his father's Frankish kingdom.
Okay.
He just starts invading everywhere.
Does he?
Yeah, because the rule goes. Kill a nephew, get a kingdom.
Right.
Kill everyone, get an empire.
Get an empire.
Because he wants an empire.
Okay.
He went campaigning from 774 to 800. So he just goes to war.
Right.
He expanded his empire massively. He responded to a call from the Pope, who was worried that he himself was to be conquered. See, don't forget, popes were also killing each other in these days.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Charlemagne crushes the Lombardy rebellion for the Pope, who then declared himself king of the Lombards. Charlemagne is, I'm now king of the Lombards.
Well, that's northern Italy.
That's northern Italy, yeah.
Just below the Alps, like Milan.
So he's already king of the Franks, which is above that again, which is that bit of Germany.
Yeah.
He's now king of the Lombards. And he's at this point.
Sorry, I'm laughing at that because Lombard used to stand for a lot of money but a real dick in as an 80s acronym, didn't it? It's one of those groups of city people.
I'd forgotten about that.
So King of the Lombards is very good for anyone listening from the 80s.
So he's already got 2 crowns already.
Okay.
At this point, he's declared war in the name of Christianity.
Oh,
man. He's hitting all the bases now, isn't he?
Done that, Kev?
He sweeps through lands. He takes them as his own, claiming the gold, obviously.
You see, this is why it must have been such a glorious time.
Yeah.
Because the assets were so tangible back then.
Instant.
Like now people do a hostile reverse takeover of a business, and it means on paper they've got the shares.
And they find out someone else owns shares.
Right. Is he really worth
They're not making that much money.
And is he really worth 500 billion? Well, I suppose technically he is. But on
if
paper,
everything was sold
right,
today.
But back then, you're now in a castle with your fingers once more. Where are we, Gav? Going through chests.
Big crosses
gold,
with rubies.
Big crosses and
it's tangible, you're right.
Yes.
And it's land as well, and numbers of cattle.
Peasants.
Yes.
All
tenants, slaves, farmers. Everything's for you.
People wonder where all this money's coming from. The answer is that,
from everywhere.
Slavery.
Yeah, from everywhere.
That's what those people
comes to you.
Yeah, those peasants not being paid. People don't understand how little money there was around.
Among the common populace.
Among anyone.
Zero. Yeah, zero.
There's just none.
Well, they were told, didn't you, had to pay a tithe of your crop.
Yeah.
And then you got to keep some of your crop.
Right.
That was your money.
Right, that's
and
it.
you bartered that for chickens and whatever else you needed.
It was all bartering.
Yeah. So
it was all bartering.
There was no checkbooks in those days.
But you imagine the joy of now you've actually taken a castle. When the rest of the country, frankly, is just living in hovels.
Right, and half the people you've conquered have not fought back.
Yes.
And have gone, okay, don't worry, I'll show you around.
And also, really easy just to move people on. You simply burn villages.
That's right. And do the classic, replace them with your people.
Doesn't matter, Gav. You just herd people around.
It's
just hovels and castles and cruelty and blokes with great big fuck-off swords doing shit, and like another guy with an axe and a mask.
Well, don't forget he's doing this in the name of Christ as well.
Also, no coppers around.
None.
Remember
You're the day man.
That's it. Hey,
you are the commandant. You are the police.
I'm the night to day guy.
He had a motto.
You're looking at him.
He used the motto, "The Lord helps those who help themselves to your land." No, he didn't do that last bit.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what was happening.
So the Lord helps those who help themselves.
Well,
this is what I mean. This is what happens if you've got a load of guys in charge who are the law, and you feel sure sometimes again when you look at Trump, this is what he thinks. He thinks,
right,
if you voted for me as president, I'm democratically elected.
Yeah.
I can do what I like.
Exactly.
Right.
You've told me I can do what I like.
And that's what he's doing.
He then continues his conquest, and he fights a 30-year war against the Saxons, burning their trees, replacing their shrines with chapels, destroying all their idols.
What fun!
He's putting up his own Christian statues.
Gav, just going into places and just smashing up their gods.
Absolutely.
What a laugh.
I know. Destroying the lot.
Literally just leaving, and just moving off on horses, quite a slow pace.
So this is another of his Bloomin Legend moments. He's now double crowned. He's doubled his empire straight away. Yeah. He's given himself a religious motto, and he's now fighting a massive war against the Saxons. He once executes 4,500 Saxons.
Marvellous.
In one day.
God.
And now don't forget, in those days, it's all by stabbing, effectively. Yes. That's a lot of stabbing.
Well, Gav, you got to remember, back then, firstly, he's there by divine right. So he's doing God's work.
Told him to do it.
Secondly, he's removing unbelievers.
All the heathens,
So you imagine that. You imagine once you've gone through the whole "thou shalt not kill," that doesn't apply to Saxon,
right? Because they're not part of our church.
No, once you get into that, it's God's work.
You can justify anything.
Oh,
absolutely, because that is about as genocide-y as you get, isn't it? And this was the massacre of Verdun. That's in 782.
Yes.
At the same time, he raids Spain.
Yes.
But it doesn't work.
No, that's not going to work.
Because he's got to go over the Pyrenees.
Yeah.
This is always the really practical things. It's like Napoleon getting cold in Russia.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just...
Mind you, he has gone over the Alps into there.
That's true, because he's well, no, he wasn't that side of the Alps. He's come down from Germany, hasn't he?
No, you still have to go through the Alps. He's probably gone. You have to go through Innsbruck. He probably went along the coast.
Yes,
you're right. Probably went along the coast and in through there.
So anyway, he has to retreat. The rear guard of his forces were killed after Roland, the leader of that army, refused to call for help. He wanted to win on his own, but it didn't work. The Spanish sent him on his way. In the year 800, he has now really done it. He becomes Holy Roman Empire.
Wow.
On Christmas Day in the year 800, that's quite some nice round numbers, aren't they?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Charlemagne is kneeling in prayer, and the Pope, supposedly unknown to Charlemagne, crowns him.
Okay.
But this is Pope Leo III, who upon researching, was also being accused of crimes.
Yeah.
And his enemies had already tried to take out his eyes and tongue.
Yes.
And basically Charlemagne and Leo have ratified each other.
Yes.
Because he's crowned him Holy Roman Empire of all the Roman Empire. And the coronation signified the restoration of the imperial title.
Okay.
So this hadn't happened since the previous Roman Empire.
Yes.
Constantine VI was in the Eastern Empire, hiding in what is now Istanbul.
Yes, that's where the empire divided between the old Roman Eastern and Western empires.
That's right. And it established also the precedent of the Pope ratifying the emperor's role.
Yeah. Well, there's two popes at this time. You've got someone leading the other church
that's
over
right,
the other side.
But also Charlemagne is giving the Pope his bona fides as well.
Yeah.
So yes, that is his Bloomin Legend moment number 3, because he is now the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire.
Ha ha!
Yes, he's made it.
He's made it,
He's made it. Absolutely made it. So he also was in charge of what's called the Carolingian Renaissance.
Yes.
So this is the bit where, like a mafia figure, say, is quite loved because he opened that museum as well.
So what's he opening?
What he did was he
didn't a bit of music.
He didn't just run through Europe smashing towns. He was a big promoter of art, education, Latin literacy.
Okay.
But this is also, I think, to do with the church. This is him paying the church back.
This doesn't apply to a lot of people, Gav.
No, I know.
No one's reading. There's not a lot of books about it. So when you
No, but this is the point. He's paying for monastic schools to happen and things. And
monks.
This is the church.
Yeah.
He's helping the church out.
Well, as I said a couple of weeks ago, when Rome collapsed,
yes.
Obviously the army's gone, the civil service is gone. The only means of communication throughout the empire, and the reason the church survived, is because it is your means of communication. So that's your...
They were waypoints, they were diplomatic buildings, effectively. Anyone travelling with messages between leaders.
You have to think of the church as being, it's like I said on a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember which podcast it was.
Yeah.
You've got to remember, that's like the GPO becoming British Telecom.
Right.
What was the General Post Office in Britain with all that communication? That goes, and instead you're left with BT. That's what the church is, your means of communication. If you want to make an announcement, you pin it up in churches.
Right.
If you want to send your message out or change the way people think, you do it through churches. Now, I get all my information from my Sky dish. Back then, Sky was where heaven was,
Also, he acquired himself a whisperer. There's always a guy. He revived classical learning with Alcuin of York, a monk from England, who was named the most learned man anywhere to be found.
Nice.
He's the most learned man.
Yeah. This guy.
Nobody knew any more than him.
He knows a lot.
Everybody's saying so.
Everybody's saying so.
Apparently, Alcuin taught Charlemagne and his children and
great guys
and any young men who are coming into Charlemagne's court.
Yeah.
So basically, he's controlling the information. That's always what the whisperer does. It's what I would think of as a nice little situation for Alcuin there.
Yeah. Who would you like to be in a court then? Because you get too close to a rival.
Yeah, and you get killed.
Yeah. This is a great drink. It's what I call the Stalin drinking game.
Right.
It's when you say, who would you want to...
You don't want to get too close. You're right.
What position would you like to occupy in a dictatorship so you got the best life?
Surely you're the guy that everyone trusts other than the layer below the leader.
Again, you see, you put yourself to... I think you want to be... You'd want to just do quite a good radio show that the dictator enjoys. That you're this guy that for some reason he finds quite funny. And I think that's
pretty good.
That's great.
That's pretty good, because you're not going to get in trouble.
It's fine. It's fine.
I like that.
I like that. I don't think you want to be the guy people trust. You just die. That guy dies.
No, not the guy under the leader. The guy under the leader.
I think even then you could die.
You're right. You're in someone's camp always.
That's what I'm saying. Very dangerous.
That's very dangerous. You can enjoy the benefits while they're in power, but man, don't. It doesn't go well.
Let's crack on with the story.
So he was able to convince Charlemagne, this Alcuin of York, that faith was a choice and to also abolish the death penalty for paganism in 797. No. It's a very niche request.
No, but I think that's a big mistake.
Why?
Kill the pagans, Gav.
Do you think?
Yes.
See it through.
Well, because, put it this way, if you are faced with either death or you just got to say I'm a Christian, because it's down to you to say.
Sure.
Then you're just killing fucking idiots.
But also, aren't you
who
quelling a potential rebellion there too?
Who would who would stick their neck out and go, no, I'm still a pagan?
Yeah, I know, I don't get that.
No, but if you're a pagan, what do you believe in?
Yeah, you wouldn't tell anyone.
Nothing.
You wouldn't tell anyone. No.
If you're that certain about Valhalla, sod off there,
I always think Valhalla's a lady.
Yeah.
Valhalla, she's just really loud.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's got his own whisperer. And who's whispering sweet nothings to the dear leader to change their mind.
Gav, my question is, is that are there pagans who are that passionate about it?
I do wonder. Are they selling it as a movement?
Right.
Are they building a proper movement with lots of people?
I mean, I know today we've got them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, when the horses ride into your village,
right,
and they go, he's a pagan. They go, I'm not a pagan.
Oh no, you're never going to admit it.
I'm agnostic. I am open to any.
Johnny, I think you could be put to death for not being a believer.
Yeah.
Until about 100 years ago.
Yes, I
think it wasn't that long ago.
A
couple of hundred.
Yeah.
This is 797. We're talking. Definitely going to die.
Definitely going to die.
You say you're a pagan.
Yeah.
He didn't write himself, Charlemagne. Apparently, he was dyslexic. Although I don't know how we know that. But he was all about knowledge for the people. Apparently, he had many wives.
Yeah, go on.
Many kids, many headaches. In his lifetime, he had at least 5 wives and over 20 children, many of whom he gave kingdoms and titles to. Maybe that's why he had such a big empire, because he needed to keep them all sweet.
Well, the kids we know about, among others, that I really like, is... and this is, again, this tells you a lot. Remember, his dad was Pepin the Short.
Yes.
He had a son called Pepin the Hunchback.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Charles the Younger... Pepin of Italy, Louis the Pious.
The Pious.
His father was Pepin the Short.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But how about that? His son was Pepin the Hunchback. What gets me about that is that, like, people wouldn't have known that.
Known what?
Well, why put Pepin the Hunchback when he walks in?
Well, that's true.
Oh, you must be Pepin the Hunchback.
Also, he's got no problem his own children having derogatory surnames.
But also, Pepin the Hunchback comes in, right?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, you must be Pepin the Hunchback.
Right. Yeah.
Or what are you going to say? Which Pepin are you?
Yeah, no, you're
Take
not
a wild guess.
Yeah, right, of course. Of course, it's a bit annoying for him, isn't
really
it? Because he must get it all the time.
Yeah,
he must have had loads of you must be's.
Yeah. Are you Pepin the Hunchback? No, that's my brother. No, I'm the other Pepin.
No, I'm
what do you
Pepin the Tall.
What do you fucking think? Take a wild fucking guess. You know, lugging this around.
Do you think there were lots of hunchbacks in medieval times?
Gav, I don't know.
I mean, like,
how am I going to know that?
No, but whatever that condition is, do you think there was more of it in the old days?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, I think it was again. I think, isn't it lucky you touch the hump and stuff?
I think I've heard this.
I mean, I don't know too much about Gav, but
it's very lucky if you're a theatrical impresario. I know that.
Gav, I'm not that good at history. I don't know
how many hunchbacks. How many hunchbacks to the 1,000 people were there?
If this was a boom time,
but people seem to be obsessed with it in past.
They really were.
Absolutely, he was a hunchback.
He was a hunchback. So were all his family.
I've got a hunch.
Yeah, exactly right. But
yeah, it's weird. It just seems to be a thing.
No, it was a real thing.
But you know what he did, which was, and this
you don't see so many of these.
No,
days.
You don't. No, that's why I wonder.
When I was a kid, you see a lot more.
Did you?
Yeah, because the parents used to say you stop staring.
Right.
Don't
yeah.
stare.
Of course. Yeah. Anyway.
But I guess back then, no one stared particularly.
No one dared stare.
No one dared.
Not if he was related to Charlemagne.
Yeah, right.
That's for sure.
The fact it was Pepin the Hunchback, do you think he was proud of it? It meant you'd been touched by something and it was...
I suspect because he was so royal.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a dare.
Yeah.
Like, I dare you to create it as a problem.
Yeah, but you mustn't...
No.
Pepin the Hunchback, but you mustn't call him that.
That's right. Don't look at it.
His dad will go mad.
Don't
look at it.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what it's a bit like a gangster who's got a nickname that's not flattering.
No one talks about. Yeah.
That no one says like Bugsy Siegel. You never said it to his face.
You never called him Bugsy. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. He was Benny Siegel
because of his eyes, wasn't it? Bugsy or whatever.
Is that what it was? He went crazy or something. I don't know. It's a crazy nickname.
Yeah, right. Jimmy Carruthers.
He had really massive front teeth.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah.
It'd be difficult to take a gangster seriously.
Yeah.
He had huge front teeth.
Like that. Why are you to get your ugly kisser away?
It would be weird.
As a matter of fact, I do care. And even if I didn't care, I wouldn't mind or nothing neither. Now get over there with the others. You get over there with the others right now.
You just can't.
Yeah,
you can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
But this is a Bloomin Legend moment. He doesn't marry any of his daughters to anyone because, of course, the son-in-law is always the one after the title.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it's really clever. I see it as a sort of the Kardashian model.
Yeah, it is.
Where no one actually settles with anyone.
Yeah, right.
And you keep all the family money together.
It's very Kardashian,
isn't it? Let's salute him for that. That's a Bloomin Legend moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he avoids the possibility of anyone getting close enough to poison him and steal his power.
A lot of poisoning going on.
A lot of poisoning.
Well, look at his brother, you know.
Absolutely.
No one dies of a sodding nosebleed.
But he has...
Well, unless you die of a nosebleed because someone is also... The source of the nosebleed is the fact that someone's wrapped a crowbar around your head. Do you know what I mean?
And shoved a load of arsenic up your nose.
No, but it's quite a villain thing.
Right, of course it is.
Oh, look, he's died.
He's fallen over.
What did he die of? Nosebleed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's...
No, absolutely right. Yeah, it's a nosebleed.
Oh, what did he die of? I think he died of a nosebleed. Laughing away, considering an axe went through his fucking head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
We see him dying now in 814, but there is a final Bloomin Legend moment. He's first of all buried in a cathedral that he built.
Yes.
I don't know many people that get to do
that.
No,
you don't.
That's a good flex. His skeleton is believed to have been 7 foot tall. Obviously, that can't be right.
No, Gav, I'll tell you what that is. It's a lie.
That's a lie.
There's no 7 foot guys.
The coffin may have been 7 foot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it'd be so funny if he was actually 4'9" or 5'4" or something.
It'd be an hilarious thing to put in your will that you want an 8 foot coffin.
God, that'd be so funny.
Just say no. I want the really long.
And you need
so
16 pallbearers.
Like one of those,
longer than Peter Crouch's
like one
coffin.
of those, like one of those Hummers that women have on hen nights. You know,
stretch Hummers,
like a stretch.
If your coffin was a stretch
coffin,
Hummer,
a ridiculous coffin like that.
It just goes on and on into the church.
Oh yeah.
You're sitting in the church and it comes through up the aisle and it just never ends.
That's how tall he was.
And
I never met him.
The cremation oven. It's just.
Just bit.
I will have to do it in sections.
Yeah, there's a bit. He's just like a giant pencil sharpener. Yeah.
A wood chipper.
Yeah. Why do they do that instead of crematoriums? Wood chippers.
Give us a bit more of a show.
A bit like the end of Fargo. Yeah.
But even funnier, he apparently was buried sitting upright on a throne.
Was he?
Which I kind of believe, because when you see the mausoleum of big cartel bosses or whatever, they're like little houses.
Yes.
You could easily imagine one of them saying, no, I want to be sat.
Yeah.
It's just, I want to be surrounded by marble, but in a sitting throne.
Oh, no, you see some of those thrones in Ireland, you sort of think,
100%.
You know, he's actually been buried in something bigger than his caravan.
Have you seen the ones near Naples?
Yes.
You've seen Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Those graveyards are unbelievable.
What I always want to know is... how do they run power to them? Because some of them
they've got lights and stuff.
I know, but who's paying the bill?
I guess whoever's paid for the
Who's paying for the lecky?
And there's an ongoing cost there.
No, but who's paying for the lecky?
Who's paying the lecky?
Maybe you can go and see
in the mausoleum.
Like you've got a little property down at the graveyard. You know?
I mean, I think it's I mean, the idea is that you die and live forever in luxury of some kind.
I don't know what it is.
But I mean, it'd be cold.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no telly.
Yeah.
I bet some of them have got tellies on. With the person's favourite show
all the time.
Permanently.
Yeah, permanently.
And make sure that Dallas is on the whole time.
Yeah, he loved Dallas.
He loved the horse racing.
No, we're doing the wrong accent for that.
I know, you're right.
Please make sure he loved to always watch Match of the Day. Please to always have Match of the Day.
Match of Day.
Please have Match of Day always on in his grave, please.
Especially the Ipswich games. He loved the Ipswich.
He loved Ipswich. I don't know why, but he loves it. He loves it always, every Ipswich game.
Please, fan of Ipswich.
Always Ipswich, all the goals, DVDs.
Also, Sunday League. If you have any Sunday League.
No, you've gone too far.
No, you have gone too far. Because it's not high enough quality.
No, Ipswich, all the goals.
But what I love is anyone powerful enough when they die for their own propaganda to not just be part of their funeral, but to continue forever.
Yeah, to continue forever, yes.
The mausoleum, the propaganda. He is Charlemagne.
Charlemagne. Okay, so really, he's a legend, first of all.
Yes.
For branding himself Charlemagne.
And forcing everyone to call him Charles the Great.
Charles
forever.
the Great, because he didn't want to replicate the indignity of his father, who was Pepin the Short. You know, not one word, right?
No,
so there's no chance to leap in there and put anything back.
No.
Despite the fact that he then has a son called Pepin the Hunchback.
That's
that's fine. Call him what
He's
you
carved
want.
his own niche there in between the generations.
Don't worry about that, boy. He's fucking useless anyway. So for creating that brand, Charlemagne, for being the first European to actually really turn that what was the Holy Roman Empire, well, what was the Western Empire,
into
turn
one kingdom,
to actually redefine it.
And he tidied up the papacy as well in a way. That became then a normal line of...
you're always going to get a bit of credit for that,
You've
Gav.
got to. You've got to.
For having a son who's... No, sorry, what other things we saying?
For having no son-in-laws whatsoever.
Yes, for having no son-in-laws, because they are always a danger.
Always.
Because I tell you why, because you have to assume that is the only reason they've married your daughter.
And once they've married her, they get in her ear about what she should get and what should happen.
Because back then, no one married any woman at this level without an angle.
Every time.
It was all dowry and what are you looking
Every
at?
time,
You sort of thought, you know,
especially another connected royal, but who didn't have any money.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be one of the Charlemagne girls. No. Definitely not. Miserable. If anyone comes near you, who's coming here, my daughter?
Can you imagine the reality show today?
Exactly what he's after. The slag.
So let's salute him.
Let's salute him. Charlemagne.
Bloomin Legends.